Welcome to another episode of You Were Designed for Greatness. This is Donna Tashjian, your host, and it is my pleasure to be with you today as we wrap up the year 2021. What has this year been like for you? What are you celebrating? What has been going well? What are you thankful for? As we get ready to step into a brand new year, there is something exciting every time it's a new year. But I like to live also every time it's a never before lived day. We don't have to wait 365 days to have a new day. Every day can be fresh and new and a never before day that I am thankful that I am breathing. This is the last episode for this year. And today I'm going to be sharing with you something that has been, exciting me. Like, I don't know if I have the adjectives to describe, but it is about creating a life by design, not by default. It is a program that I have instated and am watching it transform people's lives as well as my own all over the place. Life has a way sometimes of knocking the wind out of our sails, knocking us right on our butts. And everyone I've talked to has said the last 2 years, we would have never in our wildest dreams imagined that we would have been living in the last 2 years of our life. There has been surprises and fear and unknown and blessings in the middle of it all. Life has felt hard for many of us, even boring and frustrating and hopeless. Life is a lot of times is not what we expected. But if you know that there is more for you, if there is something deep inside of you says that there is more, then stay tuned, because Life by Design, Not by Default new program could be the answer to your prayers. So hold on. I've been thinking about how much we have been trained since we were born to live from the outside in, to live based on what is happening in my circumstances and how that affects me on the inside, not from the inside out, where my inside transforms my environment and the world around me. I am, and you are, a spirit living in a body, having a human experience. But we are more than our bodies, and you are bigger than your circumstances. We have been trained to live from the outside in. I'm happy if my circumstances are well, as opposed to living from the inside out, where I am changing my environment. How do we do that? I have started on this quest, and it started with one Bible verse. And it is in 2 Corinthians, and it says, things that are unseen are eternal, and the things that are seen are temporary. How do we live as a spirit affecting our environment with the things that are eternal? Is a question I begin to ask. I thought of a story that I heard of the way that they train elephants. They get this baby elephant and they tie this little cord around its ankle, and it can try all it wants, but it can't get loose from the stake. And when the big elephant is tied, they said that they can put a river reed, something that that huge elephant could so easily break, around its ankle, and it won't move. There have been circumstances and situations and things that have happened in our life that have kept us chained to a stake that we were never meant to be chained to, feeling like things are impossible, out of our reach, and it's not for me. when that isn't the truth at all. You are bigger and more than you know. You are stronger. You have resources, and God loves you. When we think about those ways, that's toxic thought, and it can even affect us physically. The thoughts in our mind affect the health of our body as well. And we've been trained to live the opposite way that we were really designed. And so I want to talk to you about the way that God designed it and what are the resources that are actually available, because there is a connection. Have you ever felt like you were going down a river? Now, I want you to imagine this river has got some faster rapids, some big rocks, all kinds of rocks, and it's got slow and easy spots as well that are peaceful, easy river. And then it gets fast again, and maybe even small waterfalls. Have you ever felt like you were going down the river of life without a paddle? I have. It's like I'm crashing into rocks and the water splashing me in the face, and I almost get thrown out of the boat, and I'm holding on for dear life. I crawl myself back into the boat, and I'm just like, I barely making it. Have you ever had those moments? I know I have. And so that's what I want to teach you is, where's your paddle? Where are the tools and the resources that God designed that before I learned about these things, I never knew it like this? So if you are certain that you are meant to live more, a better, different life, but you don't know the next step to take, and maybe today you're feeling a little bit lost and unsure where to go next, I want you to relax and take a deep breath, because you are in the right place. You are not alone. These are very common feelings, but the answers to your questions, even the questions you don't know how to ask, there's just this knowing, are closer than you think. And I have developed this program, Life by Design, Not by Default, so that we can learn to design our life and our world and affect our world with what's going on the inside of us instead of the other way around. Because we have been given everything that we need. We just need to learn how to use it. Through this program, I teach you about 6 extraordinary gifts that we have been given and 11 laws of the Spirit in a way you probably never heard them before. I hadn't. And watching this transform people's lives, but I'm getting ahead of myself. I'll tell you a couple stories in a minute. So learning these gifts and these laws is like learning how to use a tool, but when we're using it the wrong way, it ends up maybe even hurting us. Let's say you're cutting an apple, but you turn it the wrong way and you cut yourself and you use it improperly. A lot of times this is what's happened. These gifts we may be aware of, but when we do not know how to use them to the fullest potential that God designed for us, we end up hurting ourselves, and we get more frustrated and we get more angry, and we wonder, why does it never work for me? Why is it always hard? These gifts, I'll touch on them today, is imagination, intuition, will, memory, reason, and perception. These are some of the gifts, and then there's 11 laws that I go into further. Jesus came to give us life in abundance, and he gave us the keys to overcome the world. And these laws and gifts are tools that you can use to create the life you would love, to step into your destiny, to find out your purpose, and to make an impact in the world and in your family and in your children, in your job, in your sphere. One of my clients, who I'll call Kay, said, Donna, everyone needs to hear this. My whole life has changed, and I am experiencing things I never dreamed possible. And my relationship with God has changed dramatically. It's like stepping out of the dark room into the sunshine. Imagine being in a cold, damp basement and coming out into the sunshine. That's what this is like. You discover things and you see things in a new way that you never saw before. I was reading from a book, and it's called The Next Step. And it says, the shepherd boy, who was a psalmist and who would become King David, said, the Lord is a lamp unto my feet, casting a light upon my path. The light, the law, the presence, and the power of God is like a lamp directing my next step. When I take that step, then the next step is shown. I'm not shown a mile down the road. I'm not shown a year down the road always. I'm shown just one day at a time, next step, which is mine to take. This can be comforting for each of us to know, because we don't have to figure it all out. In fact, we can't. The Spirit reveals to each of us is perfected uniquely for you. The greatest fulfillment we can ever have is to take the next step that is before us. So for a moment, I want you to ask yourself, what is my next step today? What is the thing that I can do today that can move me forward to that call that I know is in my belly, that I know there's something more, I just don't know how to get there? Let's bring ourselves fully to this day. The Lord is a lamp unto my feet, casting a light upon my path, and the lamp is shining brightly for you right now. So if you are certain you are meant to live a fuller life, that you want to know your purpose, that you want to make a difference in your world, then the next step would be for us to talk. I will put it in the show notes, a link to schedule a complimentary consultation, so you can learn more about this program, Life by Design, Not by Default. And we will also see if it's the right fit for you, if you're a right fit for this program. I have never, ever been so excited about anything that I have been involved in. This will revolutionize your life. And what is your next step today? What is the step that you need to take to just check it out? Let the light shine on your next step. Hear the calling in your soul that there is something more, because Jesus came to give you life in abundance, not a mediocre life, not a barely getting by life, but a life in abundance. Don't you owe it to yourself and your children and your family to learn the answers? So that is today's episode. Until next time, this is Donna wishing you a very happy, prosperous, abundant new year. And thank you for being part of the vibrant living community. Bye for now.